heavenly song to increase my understanding. My daily bread, that amazing. I'm talking about precepts. Precept on precept, line upon line, precept on precept, line upon line. Babe, I can't keep explaining, can't study for you.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus 5 verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. We're light tonight. We got a 3-man crew, but we have a good show for you tonight. So we are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Captain Matt.
Officer Thomas.
And we're going to start like we always do. We're going to actually go to the thumbnail first because our very own Officer Micah is actually out tonight. All right. He will be back, Lord willing, next week. So, Officer Thomas, if you could kind of review the thumbnail for the people.
All right, so we got Trump, master negotiator or prophetic puppet. So as you can see in the back, we got Elon Musk, puppeteering Trump. As we see in the news, we have with the whole thing Elon Musk got going on in the government, and Trump is basically his puppet. He's pulling his strings, doing whatever he needs to do. And then we got Trump all the way in the front, the master negotiator or the prophetic puppet.
All praises. And this, again, I believe this is AI. They did a good job. They almost made Elon look like he was part Trump, part Elon. You could kind of see the top right corner. Also remember this, the thing about this thumbnail is that everything that's going on, the prophetic puppet is going into what God is doing with these men in the earth today. So we got a lot of material. Let's start first. I put them right in order tonight. I made the tech guys' job fairly easy. So on number 1, Trump is coming in swinging. Now, if you notice I don't know if y'all really understand, during Trump's campaign trail, he had a lot of negresses and Negroes. And see if you can find one in his cabinet. Did you look? Could you find any? The FBI guy he fired was an East Indian. He's brown, but he's a Caucasian. So you're going to find that Donald Trump is being used by God. Roll the video.
Today marks 1 month of President Trump's return to the Oval Office, and there is no denying this administration is off to a historic start. The president has already signed 73 executive orders. That is more than double the number signed by Joe Biden and more than quadruple the number signed by Barack Obama.
Pause,
over
real
the
quick.
same.
Do y'all notice how everyone around him is beginning that ish talking? You see how like she's just like, yeah, he kicked Biden's ass. Just the way that his cabinet, he gives them confidence to talk ish. And she's like a mini Trump, you know?
I like the contrast with her red skin and the white clothes. I mean, you don't have to put it on me.
Put it on her.
Yeah, see? Esau is red. They are red.
Right. Look, that's a good point. Her shirt is white. Her skin is not white.
Nope.
The flag is white.
Yep.
The stars. Esau is red. Hey, listen, that's a good analogy. Now, so do me a favor, Akiem, type in the executive branch of the U.S. government. Because when y'all hear Donald Trump making executive orders, the reason why he can do that is because he is the chief executive of the branch of government known as the executive branch. Pull that up. What is the executive branch of the U.S. government?
The executive branch is the part of the government which executes or enforces the law.
Should be more than that, no?
The executive branch consists of the president, his or her advisors, and various departments and agencies. This branch is responsible for enforcing the laws of the land.
That's exactly the branches of the government. Put the branches of the executive government, and it should give you all that. Basically, what this is saying, y'all, is Donald Trump. Now there's the executive branch, there's the judicial branch, and then there is
Legislative.
Thank you. But in the executive branch, he has carte blanche. He is the buck stops with him. Give me all the dog. Yeah, Cap, we'll get into that. I like the fact you brought that up. Break the 3 down real quick, just in general.
Scroll down. Right there. Legislative. Boom. There you go.
The legislative branch is made up of the House and Senate.
So those are where your votes go.
Right.
You think you going to the president himself? He counting your votes? Oh, look. Bonquisha voted for me. Sharkeisha voted for me. Tyrone voted for me. No, they go to them. Go ahead.
Known collectively as the Congress.
Congress. That's where laws are passed. Remember that song, Cap? I'm just a bill.
Yeah.
Sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Yep,
Congress. Go ahead.
Among other powers, the legislative branch makes all laws, declares war, regulates interstate and foreign commerce, and controls taxing and spending policies.
Mm-hmm.
The following are legislative branch organizations.
So, wait, go up. The National Archives and Records Administration. This is where a lot of historical records about our people are kept, and every country has them. Like in Suriname, they have to go all the way to the Netherlands in order to find out their records.
Damn.
Go down to executive.
Actually, do judicial. Let's leave the executive for
judicial.
last.
Judicial.
The judicial branch consists of the U.S. Supreme Court and the Federal Judicial Center.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Constitution, the judicial power the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The Federal Judicial Center is the education and research agency for the federal courts.
So that is where most of your finalities of law are going to come from. You know, you got certain people that take cases all the way up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is above all courts. So once it gets there, whatever happens there, that's it. Ain't no going past that. That goes for law, that goes for cases, that goes for a lot of different things, especially the civil rights cases.
Yep.
That the alphabet community has now taken that black people struggle for and try to use for themselves. That's what Trump is overturning in a lot of aspects, and they're starting to look at, oh, well, look what he's doing to black people.
Right.
Yeah, we the, what they call that? We are the collateral damage of him dismantling the alphabet community. That's what's going on.
Right. Remember, we brought it out that the main beneficiaries rather, of the DEI were Caucasian women. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we are the ones that are going to suffer. Black men, black women, Hispanic, the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, so Cap brought out the legislative branch and the judicial branch. Now, I want to look at the executive branch, because this, if imagine you got a company, right? And in your company, the CEO runs all the decisions of the company. America's company aspect, AKA, the executive branch, Donald Trump calls all of the shots. This is important in tonight's show. So in that, we have Executive Office of the President.
The executive branch consists of the president, his or her advisors, and various departments and agencies. This branch is responsible for enforcing the laws of the land. The following are executive branch or organizations and agencies. You want to read the agencies?
No, that's cool. I want the people at home to know when Donald Trump does not have supreme power over everything, but the executive branch, and this is tonight's show, we're going to get into a lot. He has done a lot. And today is February 20th, I believe. Yes.
Yes, sir.
He's been in office for exactly 1 month. So she started by saying he's executed 73 executive orders already. Because why? He's the chief executive of the executive branch. Now, let this play out, and then we're going to go right to number 2. It's easy job tonight, tech guys.
Period. These executive orders have ended burdensome regulations, sealed the border, unleashed our domestic energy sector, eliminated divisive DEI from our federal government, stopped the weaponization of government, cut waste, fraud, and abuse, reinstituted America First trade and foreign policies, and ultimately restored common sense.
Damn.
The president also signed the...
When they say common sense, because the majority of Esau in this country, the majority of them believes in Judeo-Christian values, a.k.a. husband, wife, children, family. Most of white America believes that, okay? And when they say restore common sense, that also comes with the Negro is always in second place. He is a second-class citizen. And a lot, you see these dumb, stupid black people out there that's actually, I've never been so proud of being American in my entire life. Are you serious? Yep. Makes no sense. Now, go to number 2. There are 3 executive orders that the next is going to get into, okay? Number 2. Several examples.
A while ago, President Trump signed three items. The first is an executive order relating to the affordability and availability of in vitro fertilization and other fertility treatments. These are treatments that have become unaffordable for many Americans, or have been unaffordable for many.
Why do you think Donald Trump's doing that? Because the birth rate of Edomites is going down dramatically. And in order for their populace to continue controlling, they have to reproduce. And it's not so much the affluent Caucasians that can't do it. It's the everyday middle class Americans, white Americans, that are not able to get these in vitro fertilization. That's why they're doing it. Okay, that's what they're doing. The Americans, everything is slipping about this whole economy, okay? In ancient Rome, it was called the age of decadence, when you had strong military might, and then what happened is the morality began to crumble. Yep. Okay, this is the age of decadence, part 2. Right here, you're living in it right now, okay?
Yeah, they're trying to preserve the white race.
Facts.
That's what they're trying to do. Like that in vitro stuff was remember they had, I used to watch TLC. Because it was the Learning Channel. Yeah. And then they had the Octomom, John and Kate +8. That was in vitro. Yeah. They wasn't doing that naturally. That was in vitro. And yet you got our brothers and sisters, they popping out babies like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like Egypt. Get that in Exodus 1. Mm-hmm. It's just like that in Egypt. The same way. That's why this is spiritual Egypt. That's why on the back of the money there's a pyramid. There's an obelisk in Washington, D.C. There's an obelisk all throughout the states. We used to drive to Memphis. We used to drive to Chicago. There's an obelisk that you pass on the highway. Read that, Exodus 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceeding mighty, and the land was filled with them.
Just like America is filled with us. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Read.
Now there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph.
The new king that knew not Joseph. Let's just say, I'm going to just say for the sake of example, there was a new president that didn't know Martin Luther King. He ain't know Malcolm X. He ain't know no civil rights struggle. Read.
And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
These Negroes keep multiplying. They jumping over the border. They're having children willy-nilly. They're outnumbering us. Read.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them.
And them dealing wisely with us is getting rid of civil rights, getting rid of DEI, formerly known as affirmative action. They're going to make our life hell so that their life can be better. That's what their kingdom is. Their kingdom is not equality for all men that you Christians try to fight for. Their kingdom is them on top, us at the bottom. To them, that's common sense.
Big facts. Now, get me Luke chapter 11. Because what Esau is starting to do is this. You're going to see, slowly you're starting to see the breakup between the United States, NATO, and the European Union. It's about white preservation. Donald Trump's like, why they got our dam over Israel? We want our dam. I want a bigger dam. I want a dam over America. Everything is about going back, putting your resources back to America, make America fortified and great again. For who? For Esau in America. He's cutting back the defense budget, all the budgets, the federal government. Why? To focus on America, to make it great. And guess what? That's when Europe is going to stick together. They're going to create their militaries, and it's going to serve up the last draw for the final battle. All this is happening right now. 10 years ago, if you had said that the UK and NATO would be divisive with the U.S., we would have, no, that's never going to happen. We're seeing it right now, okay? Read that, please.
Luke chapter 11, verse 17. But he, knowing their thoughts, said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
And what the American people, when they say the American people, the American citizens referring to the Caucasians, Edomites, they're saying if we're divided, we're not gonna make it. So they are trying to kill Trump. He is going to try to unite this kingdom here at home. Read.
And a house divided against a house falleth. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand?
So Satan is trying to unite Satan's house. Why? Because Satan is splitting apart. The EU, Germany, Russia, all of them are all Edomites, but their kingdom has been divided, and now they're going back to their houses. Read.
Because ye say that I cast out devils through Beelzebub.
Right, just wanted to share that. Now, go to, is that video up? Where we at? I like that. Decadence, no. I like your thought, though. We're going to continue on what he's saying, and then we're going to move on because we got a lot of stuff.
And the executive order is a directive to the Domestic Policy Council to examine ways to make IVF and other fertility treatments more affordable for more Americans. The second item that we signed was a presidential memorandum imposing radical transparency requirements on government departments and agencies in keeping with President Trump and the administration's broader commitment to governmental transparency. What this presidential memorandum would do is require, as waste, fraud, and abuse is uncovered, as programs are canceled, and ultimately as taxpayer dollars are saved, this presidential memorandum would require departments and agencies to make all of the details of that freely available to the public. Lastly, we have another executive order.
If there is corruption in the government, there's transparency, meaning it will be publicly accessible, and this is what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk is absolutely using the same tactics he did to shrink Twitter, it was Twitter, now it's X, and he cut almost 3/4 of the staff and is still successful in the company. Not plugging Elon Musk, it's just showing you that the corruption. And what Trump's is trying to restore confidence in America, a.k.a. Esau in America, because guess what? He knows the ship's going down. He's trying to gather them together and get a little bit more life. Play on.
President Trump signed relating to independent agencies. This executive order would establish important oversight functions in the Office of Management and Budget and its subsidiary office, OIRA, supervising independent agencies and many of their actions, and also reestablishes the longstanding norm that only the President or the Attorney General can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is.
Fertilization. That's important. Because only a U.S. Attorney General or the President can represent the U.S. when it comes to what he just mentioned. Because nowadays you got many different representatives in different roles making their opinion. For example, one of the generals we brought out before, an admiral in the U.S. Navy, made a statement, and the Russian media took that literal. He was not allowed to speak for the U.S. It should be, when it comes to things of law, only the president and the president's appointees can speak on behalf of the United States. Just like in IUIC. I'm a captain. I'm not speaking for IUIC unless I'm specifically given permission. That's not my job to do that. You understand? Just like we have order in our organization, the United States is reestablishing order. Why? Because they're trying to make this country great again for their citizens. And they ain't talking about you black people and our Hispanic people and natives, okay? Now, next one, Trump is like, look, I'm cutting everything down. I'm going to march right into Fort Knox and count the gold myself. Watch this, play.
Something. I'm actually going on this one. You know, all my life I've heard about Fort Knox. That's where the gold is kept, right? I heard Fort Knox. Oh, but you know, we're getting a little bit shaky. We're getting the yips on this stuff. Like, I want to find out. So we're going to open up the doors. I'm going to see if we have gold there. We want to find out. Did anybody steal the gold in Fort Knox? It's a pretty amazing place, but I'm going to actually go. We're going to open the doors. We're going to inspect Fort Knox. We want to make sure that we actually have, you know, 400 tons of gold or whatever the hell it is. It's a lot of gold. I don't want to open it and the cupboards are bare.
Donald Trump. Trump. Hey, I'm telling you, this guy's not playing. People are resigning. People are leaving. Now, here's this guy, next guy, I think his name is O'Bannon. He went to jail. He actually went to jail, basically, if you want to put it this way, for Trump. Now, is it Steve Bannon? Anyways, I believe, now this guy is a heavy right-winger. Bannon? Steve Bannon. What, and you don't be surprised what he's saying. Don't be surprised. They think this guy's King Trump. Watch, this may come to pass. Watch this.
The future of America is MAGA. And the future of MAGA is Donald J. Trump. We want Trump in 28. That's what they can't stand. A man like Trump comes along only once or twice in a country's history, right? We want Trump. We want Trump.
So what they're saying is that Trump is like their savior. Yep. The savior of who? The white man in America. And that's what it's coming down to. And he's tearing stuff up. So King Trump, a third term. Now we're going to change gears a little bit. In the last couple of days, it's been eruption about, remember, Biden was hugging and patting, wiping Zelensky's tears, and they gave $300 billion plus, $1/3 trillion of taxpayers' money to fight the proxy war with Ukraine through the United States to fight Russia, right? Now, I think it's an article, right? All right. Trump versus Zelenskyy. Officer Thomas.
Trump versus Zelenskyy. What's behind escalating war of words? Trump calls Zelenskyy a dictator amid a brewing war of words between the two leaders.
Let's find out why.
United States President Donald Trump has called the Ukrainian counterpart Vladimir Zelenskyy a dictator as the rift between them deepens over Ukraine peace negotiations. Trump's latest broadside against Zelenskyy came after the Ukrainian leader challenged his claims that Ukraine had started the war. Zelenskyy had also spoken against being left out of the Russia-U.S. talks held in Saudi capital Riyadh on Tuesday.
Now, real quick, before I forget, Officer Akim, I want you to pull up Zelenskyy dresses in drag. We played it before. Yeah. This guy's, later on, you have Trump does not forget things. Trump is a lot smarter than people think he is. This dude he is a master of the deal. God is allowing this guy to do all this. Get that, and we're going to come right back to that. Read on, please.
In an online post later on Wednesday and during a speech in Miami on the same day, Trump delivered scathing attacks against the Ukrainian leader, accusing him of taking U.S. money and embroiling the country in an endless conflict. Here's the war of words between Trump and Zelenskyy and how it may affect the Ukraine peace initiatives. What did Trump say about Zelenskyy? In a Wednesday post on his social media platform, Truth Social, Trump wrote that Zelenskyy, a moderately successful comedian.
Pause.
Wow.
What does that mean? Let's if you could pull that up, if you don't got it yet, Zelenskyy was never a political official. Zelenskyy is a pawn of the U.S. government, just like all the other puppets were set up And the problem with that is you set that puppet up too close to a real G. Vladimir Putin, who rides horses with a barefoot, who rides bike and goes in bars and open bottles with his teeth. This guy don't play games. And they poked the wrong bear, all right? Okay. We'll do something with Zelenskyy, comedian Zelenskyy dresses like a girl or something like that. All right. That's because, right. Read on. Let me see.
His talk has talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion.
I want you to understand that last week, $350 billion solves poverty, meaning hunger, homelessness, and there was one other thing we did last week. $100 billion solves a lot of problems with food, with homelessness, housing. These things can be solved for a part of what we send to fight in the war that has nothing to do with the U.S. This is the rationale of Esau in America. We know biblically that it has to happen. Get me Jeremiah real quick, the least of the flock. There's one in Jeremiah 50 or 51. Because if Donald Trump could, what? Thank you. If Donald Trump could truly unite, thank you, Asa. Donald Trump could truly unite the world and the U.S., then the Bible would not be true. The biblical prophecies would then not be true. And we know that the least of the flock is going to draw the United States of America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great, Babylon in the top of the chapter, into combat. Russia's going to get involved. Iran's going to get involved. The least of the flock. Let me look it up. Hang on a sec. Draw them out. Least it's 50-23 or 50-20. It's right there. 54-45. Yes, 45. Start at 1 and jump to 45. Oh, you got it. Okay, good.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And
right. Now, that was 50 in verse 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, now, part of this is talking about Babylon during the time of the ancient Babylonian Empire, but this is also going into the United States of America. Now, let's go down to 40, let me see, 44.
Verse 45?
Yes.
Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, that ye have taken against Babylon.
So the whole thing is, it's the least of the flock. It's going to be the thing that draws out Babylon from getting destroyed. The least of the flock is the pawn that God's using, that America thinks that it's under control. Read.
And his purposes, that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans.
Right.
Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
So if Donald Trump could take all these deals, make peace here, peace there, strengthen global economy, strengthen America. Hey, let's get back, cut all the... He's talking with Russia right now. If we reduce our nuclear and China does, we'll get rid of nuclear weapons slowly. If that were to happen, according to what they're trying to do, guess I heard something else with Make America Great Again. Donald Trump met with Modi, the Prime Minister of India. Now he's got a slogan for India that's Make India Great Again. That's their slogan for India. And so we think that Donald Trump is going to inspire all these world leaders, and they're talking with Russia. Right? None of that's going to happen. It may appear to happen. It's not going to happen. Read on.
Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out.
That's talking about modern day Israel. Okay.
Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them.
Right. With who? With them. Israel going to be destroyed, and Babylon the Great going to be destroyed. Okay. Now, get me. Yes. So, a moderately successful comedian. And by the way, this is the PG one. There's another one that he looks like a damn, like at the Blue Oyster from Police Academy. Hey, do me a favor. Type in Police Academy Blue Oyster bar scene. I'm going to show you that. And play this. This is Zelenskyy. So say what? This is the president of the Ukraine that got $350 billion out of Sleepy Joe Biden. This guy. And this is Esau's tax money that lives here in the United States of America. And people are sick and tired of their money going out to different countries. This is, Donald Trump is going to make a comment in a minute. Play on.
I mean, think about it, Cap. Donald Trump embodies the lily white society. That's why he said there's two genders, male and female. White society, we need to start having more babies. Other races, y'all need to be subservient. Mexicans, go get the hell out. Alphabet community, I don't accept you. And look at Zelenskyy. Why do you think he got $350 billion? Look who was in office. He was catering to that community. And now Trump is like, hell no, I ain't about to continue to, because if I support you, I support the whole community.
That's a fact. And when you look at in the second year of his presidency, there was doctors that were had a prognosis of him with stages of dementia, and they covered it up. It was very, very clear towards the end. Everybody could see it, everybody. So it's amazing that it makes you think, well, who was actually running the country? Who was the one strategizing about what to do? And to your point, Captain Matthew, it obviously was an agenda to move the country in that direction. But we don't give a damn what any of their agendas are. We just reporting what it is, and we're going to show you, and at the end of the day, they're all pawns. Did we finish that article? Okay.
He got your scene up.
Yeah. So there's a thing with Vladimir Zelenskyy, okay, that he's dressed like this, and they won't let us get it. So I'm going to show you what he was doing. This is from Police Academy. Those of you who are 45 to 55 years old, you'll remember this. We can't show this video?
You might get a strike.
Damn it. Even
Just
if YouTube? What about a YouTube part? What if we play with no sound? All right, we're going to play with no sound. And this is what Zelenskyy, I wish we could find that other one. We showed it before. They probably took it down, huh? All right. This, man. All right, anyways. Y'all on your own time, Google Police Academy, Police Academy 3, and type in the Blue Oyster scene. That's what Zelenskyy was doing on camera. And now we can't even get. That's what Trump is. He's making a joke about him. Of Zelenskyy? Yeah, that's it. Look at this guy. That's in high heel. President Zelenskyy. You know that politicians are taught a certain political demeanor, a political balance you must have. I knew a guy named Matthew Oltz? I can't remember his first. He wanted to go in politics, and even in the 10th grade, he used to wear khakis to school, button-down shirts. We used to call him like the president. He wanted to be Matthew Ulrich. He wanted to be a career politician. Even in his freshman year of high school, we all know that dude's going to be, because that's where he was moving. How does a guy that does this become the president of one of the most greatest countries for natural resources, minerals, and overall farming and agricultural power? How does this happen? It happens because you have countries like the UK, the US, who positioned who they want in that position. Show that. Blow it up. The middle left. Can you do the cursor on him? That's it. That is does that look like high heels? Okay, showing his whole, does that look like any politician? That doesn't even look like any type of political official at all would never think to do that. Why? Because they're thinking about their career. This guy never was going to have a career in politics. Let's just think about that. Really think about it. Even Ronald Reagan. Show me some indecent things with Ronald Reagan. He was an actor, but he always kept a certain amount of clean to it, right?
Yep.
I'm showing you this is crazy. Now, let's get out of here.
Because in politics, they know that image is everything.
Yes.
You represent a country. When they look at you, an entire nation is behind you. Your image is important. So if you go out there with that type of image, people are going to think that those are the people that are in your country. It is what it is.
Hey, go to number 7, and then we're going to go back to 6. Number 7, we're going to back to 6. Okay. You don't need to show me, man.
But think of it, a modestly successful comedian, President Zelenskyy, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that basically couldn't be won, that never had to start and never would have started if I was president, not even a chance. And it didn't start for 4 years, never would have started. But a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. They'll never settle that war without our involvement. That's why they did such a great job this weekend. That's why Saudi Arabia did such a great job this weekend in hosting. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe. And we had a deal based on rare earth and things, but they broke that deal. But they broke it 2 days ago. We had a deal because I said, we're spending $350 billion, and Europe gets their money back in the form of a loan, and we don't. We're just giving the money hand over fist. That's the Biden administration.
Pause. Do an AI search for how many Ukrainian soldiers have died and how many Russian soldiers have died. Because I think it's about 1 million Ukrainians, 750,000 to 1 million Ukrainian soldiers, and I think 100,000 Russian.
Yeah, Cap, it's like 7 to 1.
Right. I heard the same thing. And the thing about it is, the amazing thing about it is that here you have Biden and his cabinet allowed this war to happen. $1/3 $1 trillion. Now Donald Trump's coming back. If you're a Ukrainian Edomite, you gotta be mad as hell. Now the U.S. says, we gave you this money, and the money allowed you to lose 1 million soldiers. Your cities are destroyed. You're gonna lose your land. And now we want the rights to your minerals, and we want to tax you, and we want to get benefits from the minerals that are under the earth. I'm sure Esau is going to, they're dividing itself against itself. The Ukrainian Edomite is pissed right now. The Russian Edomites are pissed right now. Okay? Okay, there's Russia. Read that, officer. Troop deaths, okay.
Russia's military casualties, the officials said, are approaching 300,000. The number includes as many as 120,000 deaths and 170,000 to 180,000 injured troops. The Russian numbers dwarf the Ukrainian figures, which the officials put at close to 70,000 killed and 100,000 to 120,000 wounded.
Yeah, that's something wrong with that, because the Ukrainians have, it should be, I think they missed a zero. I think it's 700,000 to 1 million, because the Russians had 120,000 deaths. You see that? Mm-hmm. The Ukrainians have many, 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 many more. I think that's wrong. And that's, scroll down, there's something that Macgregor's going to tell it later on, but matter of fact, get me that.
But I said we might need Macgregor because they're gonna lie about it.
Get me Macgregor, timestamp 221.
It was so bad, Cap, that they was deporting people from France back to Ukraine to get them to fight in the war. They was deporting the people because the men was running away from the war. It was so bad to what a point where they was getting women put in the war. Wow.
And that shows you the that the United States government under Joe Biden and the liberal Democratic left don't give a damn about their own Edomite brothers in the Ukraine. Okay? Don't give a damn. Play should be all set. Those
Before we get,
well, I'm sorry. I want to plug this. When you get a chance, I say it all the time. We say it all the time. You cannot watch regular media. You have to search things out. You have to, and it's not as well produced. It's not a production. You have to kind of sit through things. It's a little dry, but the information is what we're after. This is Colonel Douglas Macgregor, a former U.S. Army colonel. The man used to be in the Trump cabinet. He was an advisor at one point, and he is a military historian. There's Napoleon Bonaparte in the back. Is that bust of him in the background? See that white? Mm-hmm. He is a military expert. He's an expert on also cultures, like the Russian culture. He understands the Russian culture. A lot of these dumb Edomites that are in Biden's cabinet that were in it, they have no understanding of Russian culture and what Russia is doing today. Now, this guy, they're never going to give him a platform. Watch what he has to say.
what was your reaction to President Trump's statement yesterday that, and I'm quoting him, Ukraine should never have started the war against Russia?
Well, I agree to that with a tremendous sigh of relief and also a certain amount of admiration for President Trump, because President Trump, when shown the truth, recognized it finally. And I don't know why it took as long as it did, but I'm glad that it reached him. And he's now telling everyone what you, I, and a lot of other people have been saying for 3 years. And this is the first dramatic step in the direction of normalizing relations with Russia, for which he deserves enormous applause and gratitude from us.
Well, fully agreed. Of course, today, his words got even sharper when he referred to President Zelenskyy as, quote, a dictator who has canceled elections, who played Biden like a fiddle. Colonel, it almost sounds like he's watching the show, but your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think it's very difficult to play Biden like a fiddle, let's be frank. I think a lot of people fiddled with Biden for 4 years. And the people most mightily responsible for the big lies and the terrible, terrible things we've done to the people of Ukraine as well.
Pause. Don't put it on me. Don't put it on me. He said, and the terrible, terrible things that we have done to the Ukraine. This is Esau telling on himself because it's the truth. What does that mean, the U.S., we have done to the, I thought we, meaning the United States, were defending Ukraine. No, 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 no. We allowed them to get all the weaponry to fight the Russians with knowing that they could never defeat Russia. Mm-hmm. As a result, 1 million or more are wounded and or killed, majority killed, and their country is decimated. That's what he's talking about. Why? Do me a favor. Type in NATO treaties 1990. Yep. Because what happened is started 34 years ago. NATO said in 1991, we will not go any further eastward. We won't go eastward anymore. And they broke every single promise. 1991. Type in NATO treaties. Okay? You can continue to play while you look for that, please.
You could probably look up NATO encroachment, maybe. That's what you're talking about, right, Cap?
Yes.
Yeah,
so,
the encroachment.
if you type in NATO, or you could even type in the dissolving of the Soviet Union, because that's when they came and NATO made a bunch of treaties. It was from 1990 and 91. Let's see. Yeah. No, not Russia. Let me see. Well, I'll come back to that. I want the audience to understand the reason for this war. I have to put it in simple perspective. If Russia was, let's say, for example, they started to go down in Central America, and they developed a strong foothold in Central America, and then they started to take a couple of Caribbean islands. And now the next step is it was going to take, say, Cuba or Puerto Rico. At that point, the U.S. would say, enough's enough, and they would attack them. Well, Russia waited all the way until they started to mess with Kazakhstan. Put up a map. Put up a map of Russia. Once they came to the border of Kazakhstan, which is a huge country of Russia's southern border, they disquieted that uprise, which is like an international Antifa. They was right in the streets and they tried to take over a government building. And then they tried it in the Ukraine. Once they tried in the Ukraine, Russia said enough's enough. Okay, and that's what. So,
do the link that I just posted.
What you posted is not wrong. Let's finish this. I know I threw that at you. We're going to finish Macgregor. I just want to make the point for the audience at home. You have to understand history. Vladimir Putin is justified from a logical perspective. Everything that he's doing, he's justified. As a matter of fact, he could have did it earlier than this. Okay? But the United States of America, just like they did with the Native American Indians, just like they did with every other dealing, they break treaties. When it doesn't work out for them, they just rewrite the treaty or change the law. Play?
The Russians. I mean, we're mightily responsible for over 1 million Ukrainian deaths and almost 100,000 Russian deaths. And it's a good thing.
So, he just said it. It is over 1 million Russian deaths. So what we read before is not accurate. How the hell, like Thomas said, they're saying Russia had 120,000 casualties, but the Ukraine had the same number? That makes absolutely no sense at all. Mm-hmm. And then Russia's, if that's the case, then it should be a stalemate. No, Russia's obliterating the Ukrainians, so the information is even wrong. That's why Macgregor said over 1 million Ukrainians and about 100,000 Russians. Okay, this is it. Yes. We did show after show after show about NATO's expansion. Captain Map talks about the game. What is the game you talk about?
Go.
Put it on Cap, explain it, because it's very important. That game is what Russia saw it coming.
Mm-hmm. So, unlike checkers or chess, Go is a different type of board strategic game. The strategy of Go is to completely surround your enemy. Once they're completely surrounded, you win. It's not like you have to trap one piece like the king, or you have to jump the pieces like in checkers. But in Go, it's a legitimate war tactic type of game. It's play with little balls, and you move them, and you got to strategically place them. And when you surround your enemy, whether it be a small portion here, small portion there, that's how you win the game. And that's how the world plays their military games. And that's what Cap was about to get into.
So I want you to pull up real quick the map of Russia, and then I'd also like you to pull up what you have on file is all of the 845 plus military bases. And we're going to show you why Russia has done what it has done. And any historian that looks at history objectively must come to the same conclusion. And Macgregor is one of them Edomites that happen to do that. All right, so this is the worst one. That's good. So if you look, if you look at Russia in green, if you look to the right, there's Mongolia, which is a very large country. And below Mongolia is China. So China shares the eastern border, the southeastern border. Mongolia is in the center. But Kazakhstan is a huge, huge border with Russia. And that's where Esau was using like the Antifa, where they were trying to get activists to go in and act like it's a hostile government so that they could set shop up there. Where's it? Okay. All right, so that's Kazakhstan. And Russia sent their troops in, and we did a show on that. Captain, remember that? And they obliterated them.
Yep.
Then shortly after, probably about a year later, now if we can go to, I want to see Western Russia. That's good. I like that. But I want to see Western Russia. Okay. There we go. That's good. So we saw, look at the border with Kazakhstan, and you got the Caspian Sea, you got the Black Sea, right? Then you have Ukraine. The Ukraine is, why is this so important? It is the bridge, people, between Europe and Russia. It is also borders on one of the most important bodies of water in that region, which is the Black Sea. Why is it important? Because it passes through ancient Constantinople, modern day Istanbul, right? And it goes right out into the Sea of Crete, to the Mediterranean Sea. From there, you can get all the way through the doggone Suez Canal right to the Indian Ocean. It is very important. That's what they're beefing over.
Yep.
There are areas over there on that border area. So here's the point. Why, and how? Because it's a proxy war that the United States of America armed them with $1/3 trillion to be able to fight Russia. Look at the size of Russia. Russia's got more nuclear weapons than the United States of America. They have a huge army, a huge military infrastructure. So that's why when Macgregor said, we have allowed, or we were responsible for killing 1 million, that's the reason why. And now Trump's saying, you're to blame, Zelenskyy. And now here's the deal. We gave you $350 billion. We want the mineral rights to this land. And Zelenskyy's like, no. And then that's when he started talking ish about Trump in the media. Now Trump's like, all right, you want to talk your crap? That's why the U.S. and Russia are meeting in Saudi Arabia to discuss peace deals. And guess who was not invited? Zelenskyy and the Ukrainians. I'm telling you, don't cross Trump.
That's actually what Trump said. He said they had a deal
Yep.
based on minerals and precious metals. He said, but they broke that deal. You know what I'm saying? That's what Trump wants. Trump wants those precious metals. He is a money man. Whatever's going to make the dollars, that's what he's going after.
100%. Let's read that real quick. This is a reminder of why Putin allegedly attacked or invaded, as they say, the Ukraine.
Controversy regarding the legitimacy of eastward NATO expansion. The controversy regarding the legitimacy of eastward NATO expansion relates to the aftermath of the revolutions of 1989, when the fall of Soviet allied communist states to opposition parties brought European spheres of influence into question.
What this is saying is, and a lot of people don't want to come to this conclusion, from the European perspective, backed by the U.S., wanted to break the power of the Soviet Union. Russia is huge, right? But the Soviet Union was even bigger than that. That's why you got the Cap. When you fought over, you fought in international coalition forces. You had people from the Vakias in the different countries, right? The stands.
Yep.
They were part of the Soviet Union, and Europe's influence with the U.S. They wanted to break that, and that's why Russia became Russia. But Russia was the largest landmass within the Soviet Union. All that was going on in the late 80s, if you remember, some of you are young enough to remember, old enough to remember, Gorbachev. There was a thing about Reagan, Gorbachev. That's when they came out with the Rocky movies, and it was this big beef between Russia or the Soviet Union. And matter of fact, type in Rocky IV, okay? There was a huge movement to fight Russia with the U.S. And actually, Sylvester Stallone made that movie to actually try to unite Russia and to show the stark differences between Russia and the U.S., I mean, the Soviet Union. Pull that up. This happened in my life. That's why I know about this stuff. And a lot of you at home that are late 40s, 50s, we lived through it. We remember Gorbachev and the little funny thing, birthmark he had on his head. Okay, what year was this? 4. It should have been late 80s. Okay. Yeah, so look. And he represented the Soviet Union.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna show you something crazy.
85 for Rocky IV? Damn.
So watch this. Pull up Creed 2.
Ooh.
So this was 85. They made a movie and it was trying to, unite or, make a sort of telegraphed or televised thing with America and Russia. Now watch this. Creed 2. Now, this is the son of what's his name?
Drago.
Drago. That's Drago's son. And that's Creed's son. Drago's son was raised in the Ukraine.
Ooh, talk about, hey, y'all gotta see these writers. They know what they're doing. If you look in the background, that's heavy, because that brother, that black man, is Apollo Creed's son. Apollo Creed died because that guy killed him.
Yep.
The guy in the back killed him. He hit him so damn hard, which I don't think. Well, anyways, that was for the movie, but that's Drago's son there. Rocky's like the surrogate father to that brother. And what Captain Matthews is saying is that son, the white dude in the front to the right, is born in the Ukraine.
Yep.
I'm telling you, wow.
Because he's Russian, but when he lost the fight to Rocky, he had to leave Russia because he was an outcast because he lost the fight.
Damn.
So he lived in the Ukraine all of that time.
They have meaning behind their movies, y'all. But we just want to show you that. And by the way, Putin has been in the Russian government. Part of it is a KGB, basically Russian CIA type of top secret security. And then he got into political office and has been in the political office for decades. So he's seen and he's prepared and he's seen how America, the United States of America, has lied and broken all these treaties. So they prepared for this. That's why we did a show probably 2 months ago. The hypersonic missile that Russia launched that hit, and we showed on this show, the United States of America, no country on earth has the missile technology that Russia has. No country. That was a non-nuclear warhead. So that means with a hypersonic missile, they can strategically shoot, and it cannot be shot down because it's so goddamn fast. And guess what? They can drop conventional warheads and destroy targets, obliterate targets without nuclear capabilities. What does that mean? They can go destroy parts of whole cities and strategically not destroy everything like a nuclear bomb. And that's why the U.S. political, that's why Macgregor and all these guys say Russia is superior. Mm-hmm. And Trump is not stupid. He knows, you know what? Look, Biden screwed everything up for us. I got to try to fix it. And this is what you're seeing now. So, yes. Okay, now, just remember, in 1989, it led up to 1990-91. The Soviet Union dissolved. Russia became its own entity. Then the other countries around Russia, they became these other countries. And guess what happened? Since 1991, NATO began to move even further east and began to go around Russia to the point where Russia says, all right, we see what you're doing. They began to beef up their military to make ties. That's why in 07, 08, they started what? BRICS. Remember that? So how does BRICS start? You don't think they was talking 20 years before that? Hey, man, you know, China, we share a border with you. Hey, you know, India, you know, you see what U.S. has done? We might want to, there was a lot of talks going on behind the scenes before BRICS was even formed. Okay? What's this? Right, very good. So, right, and this is modern. So all these are, right now, this is an older map because Sweden and Finland, they are now part of NATO. And Belarus is actually Russian territory, I believe. But it is very important that we understand history because no matter what Esau says, he has his spirit is not right in him. So we as black people in America, the Israelites, we should never, ever, ever put our trust. Give me that. Never trust your enemy. We cannot trust our enemies that promise us one thing and then go back and renege it again. Okay? Never. It's in Sirach, and I don't remember what it just came to me. We cannot, Ace, is my mic all right? We cannot trust our enemies. We're about to go ready to break, y'all. We're almost done. We're just showing you what's going on behind the scenes. There's certain things that are brought out. Like when Macgregor said, we are, meaning the U.S. is responsible for killing 1 million Ukrainians. That's a heavy statement. In order to understand that, you have to go back and understand history. You cannot look at it with a lens of how the white power structure wants you to view history and media, you can't do that. You must come outside the box. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Sometimes.
Never trust thine enemy.
Why? Our enemies told us that we're all Christian. Our enemies said that Jesus is white. And when we said he's black, he said it doesn't matter. Our enemies tell us, forgive and let old wounds heal. Forgive and move on. The Bible says, read it again.
Never trust thine enemy.
So we don't trust the history they told us about. We don't trust their religion. We don't trust their education system. We don't trust anything that they say. But we have the wisdom to move wise as serpents and harmless as doves. That's why we're going to obey the laws of the land. We're going to be upright citizens at our job. We're going to agree with our adversaries. We're going to make friends of the mammon of this world, but that doesn't mean we're going to go and party with them. It doesn't mean that we're going to go set up shop and then go ahead and do all extra. We're not doing that. We're going to do what we got to do, make our money, make connections, build networks, and guess what? We're going to funnel the information, the resources, and the knowledge back to our nation. Okay? That's what we about. Read.
Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted.
Because iron start off good looking. Iron will start off like, you damn, that thing look good. It'll hold up over years. Read on.
So is his wickedness.
So you can just bet that after a while, he going to show you his evil. So remember that. So with that, listen, when we come back, we don't have Officer Yasser today. When we come back, we do have Captain Matthew with Kingdom Music. Stick around. We got the second half of the show. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. My name is Captain Shem, IUIC New Orleans. Help us to grow. YouTube page, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell notification. And now it's even easier, y'all.
Hey, and also part of New Orleans Camp, we got the community cleanups, cleaning up our neighborhood one at a time.
What y'all waiting for? Subscribe.
What are you waiting for? Subscribe. Have a good vibe. There's so much wrong going on in the world, but somehow we keep it all smile.
Subscribe and follow us on all social media accounts. We got TikTok, we got Twitter, we got Rumble, and YouTube. Make sure y'all follow IUIC New Orleans. Shalom.
Tell me if you feel me, clap your hands up.
Hey, also, we got flyer missions every day and also camp videos. Check us out, IUIC New Orleans.
So remember, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, like, share, and don't forget the QR code. When the QR code comes out, don't forget to take your phone out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why isn't it done? Shalom, Israel.
We are here in New Orleans. Today is what you call the Super Bowl.
They out here to watch a game. We out here to play no games. We out here to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel who's out here in these Greekish fashions.
People think out here they're going to get the Chiefs and the Eagles. Nah, the Saints is about to smash the Eagles.
And the prophets of God got the word of God. And we here to wake up the 12 tribes and shake up this earth.
This is the love of God. This is how you know that you love God. If you keep his commandments. If you obey what the Bible says, that's how you know you love God.
The way it's supposed to be, united.
Man, I say greatness, man. I say our brothers trying to do something positive and constructive, and I just appreciate seeing it.
We are shaking up the city. We turn the world upside down.
We need this. We definitely need it.
We fixing all faces out here. Anybody can get it. We don't care. We don't discriminate, young, old, children, whomever.
They didn't fear this image right here. To the next generation.
Right.
You're going to stand up when we die. Right. We all know that we're going to die for this gospel. Bring it in. What are you going to do about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the green team. Let's go.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless Cap Matt here, Kingdom Music. Look, we're going to play a song that I've been hearing all week because my daughter just won't stop playing it. Like, she just plays it all the time. She gets finished with her schoolwork, and all I'm hearing is this same old song over and over. So we're going to Lael with Power.
I got the power. Come on. And the whole world in my hand. You want this? Power. My hand is warm. It's happy as hell. And that's my power. They hate on my skin. I'm black as hell. And that's my power. You hate my image. 'Cause I'm made. Ooh, I'm made in the I got the power. Come on. And the whole world in my hand. You want this? Power. My hand is warm. It's happy as hell. And that's my power. They hate on my skin. I'm black as hell. That's my power. You hate my image. 'Cause I'm made. Ooh, I'm made in the image of God. My hand is warm. It's happy as hell. And that's my power. They hate on my skin. I'm black as hell. That's my power. Look, they hate on it. They took his image and they put a white face on it. I tell you, like Bambi, how dare you? Sheesh. We was made from the soil, but we not soil. We was made from the dirt, but we not dirt. They whitewashed the greatest image they had to. If I got cancer from the sun, I'd be mad too. I wear my melanin, I ain't got any tattoos. No ink on me, no markers. I'm light skinned, but shit, I wish I was darker. This time I'm doing it right, but no author. Keep pushing, go harder. Yeah, keep pushing, get smarter. Like, I got it. Rest in peace to Mohammed. Rest in peace to your Christian church. That body's filled with embalming. I know that they gon' hate on me, but I'm just speaking Ebonics. Yeah, your church I cannot sit through. Leave me alone. I love myself and my big nose and my nappy ass head that a comb can't get through.
like me so much they painted a lie. They be saying Christ ain't got no color, so we won't recognize. We the people, yeah, we are the chosen. Identity stolen. We be causing commotions. They not like us, super sale, shout out to Malafire. We the sons of God with the truth, just follow. We the superheroes, yeah, no Marvel. Now you upset, now you wanna shut us down on the internet. You mad, the prophecies unfolding. This case is closing. I got power with God, just like Jacob.
You know who I am, you know where I be. Be the light, keep your eyes on me. Do you see it? Yeah, I know you see it. We the salt of the earth. Yeah, you wanna be it. I love everything about my people. Who else would I wanna be? No one, I got the power. Who the best nation hour? My hand is happy as hell. And that's my power. They hate on my skin. I'm black as hell. And that's my power.
Good. All right. All praise to the Most High. Hey, that's Lael's album, bruh. You gotta go get that. Go to originalroyalty.com, cop it, get it, buy it, support it. Man, we got righteous music coming out every single month. All right? Go back and watch all of the old stuff. Look at the progression that we have made over the years. All right? That has been Kingdom Music. Let's get back to the show. Shalom.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the King. Let's go. Hey, hey, club. Hey, hey.
Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to Precept Upon Precept. Hey, do us a favor. It's the late show. We know it's damn near midnight back home in the East. But share in the morning. Share the show. Like, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page at IUIC New Orleans. Help us to get to 30,000 subscribers. Also, don't forget to scan the QR code. You can also comment and ideas for the show. Like we read the comments and we know my mic was low. It's because I keep stepping back. And so these are things that we'll correct with your feedback. Also, don't forget, we're going to plug at the end of the show PayPal for the Land Fund and, of course, the Booster Club. This is how we send captains, deacons, and mighty bishops throughout the planet Earth through your support, y'all. All right? Support New Orleans. Pull up the thumbnail real quick, and we have a very condensed second part of the show.
Trump, master negotiator or prophetic puppet?
Because Esau will have you believing that Trump is all doing this by himself, and he is the America's hope. And he is a very good negotiator, and the reason being is because God is going to use Donald Trump to fulfill much of the prophecies written. We're just showing you what's going on. Right to number 9. Number 9. So, in conjunction to everything else we talked about, Trump is like, do me a favor, pull up a quick segment of the show called The Apprentice. Donald Trump used to be on a show, and he's most famous for a line he says on the show. Okay? You find that, and then we'll go right to number 9. Whatever one you get to first. This is redacted. This guy, Mr. Clayton, this is a very good information source. He's a financial advisor. He's an investor, but he also does geopolitical news as well. And they're going to talk about the power of Trump in the executive branch. And they bring on an attorney, a former prosecutor, to break it down. We're just going to let it play.
Biden-era U.S. attorneys at the Justice Department. Here was his post about it. He says, we need to clean house immediately and restore confidence. Well, can he do that? What does that mean? This comes as a Justice Department lawyer resigned after she was asked to investigate the Biden administration's scheme to funnel EPA money into hidden non-governmental organizations.
Get me EPA. Because the EPA is a federal agency known as the Environmental Protection Agency. We've heard of these things. The EPA this, EPA that, right? Let's read about it and keep that in mind as we go back to number 9.
Scroll up. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is an independent agency of the United States government tasked with environmental protection matters. President Richard Nixon proposed the establishment of EPA on July 9th, 1970. It began operation on December 2nd, 1970, after Nixon signed an executive order.
Stop. Richard Nixon used his executive power to create the EPA. Why is that important? Because Donald Trump, can create new things. What did he create? An organization that everybody's talking about with your boy, SpaceX boy, Elon Musk. He created DOGE. What does that mean for the Israelites? He can create a task force for supposed domestic anti-Christian. He can create stuff. Yep. So you Negroes who really think that America is going to be great, my border's going to be secure, get all the illegals out, get rid of the gender fluidity and men for bathroom, all that's great. That's for them. You are saying Babylon must come down. Babylon is fallen. Give me Isaiah 13, verse 1 and 2. We are about to see this. This is why, sometimes I realize some of the Israelites in our country that have died is the Lord was protecting them. Because when the Lord turned the heat up, we better be ready. Read this.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon.
The what?
The burden of Babylon.
Babylon's got a burden.
Which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
A black man thousands of years ago saw this. Why? Because the Spirit of Christ was on him to prophesy. And how is it that everybody in this room and everybody, before we had the same Bible, we sat in the Christian church and we never understood what this means? Because we are the anointed ones. We're the elect that God chose to be revealed, this truth revealed to. Think about it. Think about it. We are a select group of people, okay? And now we understand these prophecies. Read it again, Officer Thomas.
The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see.
Isaiah is our relative. Isaiah is related to Jesus Christ, and we are related to Jesus Christ too. Isaiah came way before Christ. Okay, read on.
Lift ye up a banner upon...
That's not true, because Christ was Adam. Okay, well, Adam was same thing. So, but for timeline, Isaiah came before Jesus, who lived during the Roman Empire. Anyways, read.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Mountains are governments. Okay, powers. Read on.
Exalt the voice unto them.
Right, it doesn't mean Isaiah saw a flag up on the top of a rocky peak of a mountain. That's not what he saw. Read it again.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain.
Lift ye up a banner, which is the Holy Bible, which is the scriptures, up to the high government. Now, notice it didn't say a low mountain or a hill, up to the, what did it again? Say it again.
Upon the high mountain.
The high mountain is Babylon the Great. Read on.
exalt the voice unto them.
And what are we going to do with this banner? We're going to exhort the voice to them. We're going to teach the Israelites, stop sinning. We're going to say, for your wickedness, the wicked must be revealed. You are Esau coin. Your people are going to be thrown down. This place is going to be overthrown with the power of God, not with our power. We are on the Bible on the corner. Somebody's alarm on the corner with screaming out the Bible. Maybe that's me. Read on.
Shake the hand.
Shake the hand. That's correction. Correction.
That they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Who are the nobles? It's going to start with your Christian black pastors who are in the World Council of Churches. They're going to go to the government officials, and they're going to make a complaint formally about the Israelites. And guess what? Who is leading? Let's just call it what it is. Who's leading the Israelite movement? Who are the righteous examples that you can see that are changing lives of people? Now, we're not saying we're the only camp, but we are the guys. We're the guys that's making moves in the earth. We're doing so many things. We're known for so many things that we do. We got community leaders praising us. We're helping to restore. We're doing youth violence, conflict resolution. We're cleaning up communities, physically cleaning up. Adopted to highway. We are doing things to help the black community. We are the guys. Read on.
I have commanded my sanctified ones.
I have commanded my sanctified. Now, Enoch, that's my brother. Go back to Enoch real quick. Enoch's a fat captain. Shout out to Enoch. I have a name. It's Enoch the elephant. But Enoch is losing the weight. He's going to be in the green soon. But he is he's almost obese. Read on. Play it.
I have commanded my sanctified ones.
Zakar's in the green. Zakar's probably one of the best teachers in Israel. Very methodical, excellent teacher. We call him a study captain. Read on. Look at that. That's the formation. That was, I believe, in one of this. I don't know. Baltimore. And here's the thing. When we were marching to show that we can come together and as respectful husbands, respectful fathers, okay, and in peace show unity by dressing the same, looking in the same direction, singing the same, stepping on the same foot to the same accord. That takes unity. And the black race has they started to see some of that with Marcus Garvey, a little bit more with the Black Panthers for sure, but they have never seen anything. And here's the thing. You could have 50 men in Detroit talk about a council for Detroit, and it makes national news, and it's all over the news. You have thousands, we have so many, you can't even count. I lost, there's so many of us, you can't put a number on it. The point is, in this doesn't make national news. This is how you know that we are the God. We are the prophets of the Lord. Listen, in anyone's logical mind, this should be international news. We understand that. And this is why we know that eventually they're not going to be able to hide us for so long, and they're going to have to go to the nobles. And when that time comes, when you have to speak before senators, and you better pray that the Lord put it in your spirit to say the thing that we need to say. There is the mighty Bishop Nathaniel. Let me tell you something about Bishop, since you have his picture up. I've been around Bishop for a long time. And I'm going to tell you something. Not only is Bishop Nathaniel, I'm just saying because this is what I know personally. So you dumb niggas out there, you don't know nothing about Bishop. You know nothing. I've known Bishop for almost 20, not quite 20. He is everything and more that he is in that picture. What I mean by that is this. He takes care of his wife, his children. He takes care of his household. He looks after all of the deacons, the bishops, deacons, and all of us captains. We have a relationship with him. He is a mentor. He is a guide, a leader. He is a corrector. Okay? He is a general. Before any of you started calling him general, he's always been General Nathaniel on my phone. Why? Because he is a general in God's army. And his examples, his righteous example, has helped to motivate all of us captains and officers in IUIC. And we stand on that, okay? And I wasn't planning to say none of that. You just put up a picture. That's double honest to our elder, man. So, and I got to get around Bishop again. Because every time I get around Bishop, he says something to me that make me grow. I need the correction when I need the correction. That's what a real leader does, all right? He don't pacify you like you weak leaders out there. Anyways, Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you something. Donald Trump is a strong leader when it comes to running this country like a business. And that's why all these left-wing liberals, that's why they try to kill him. Donald Trump is known for this. This is The Apprentice. Play that.
You're fired. 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 You're fired.
You know what's crazy about that? He's literally doing that right now.
Yes. Yes. So, hey, we're gonna conclude the show with this in DOGE, DOGE. So now, in the spirit, what Cap just said, number 9 is we're gonna continue on with number 9. We're not gonna get everything, but now he's going to fire the attorney generals. So you got regular attorneys and you've got U.S. attorney generals. I think there's almost 90 or 93 of them. He is getting rid of all of them that are in Joe Biden's appointees. Now, play the video.
Was his post about it. He says we need to clean house immediately and restore confidence. Well, can he do that? What does that mean? This comes as a Justice Department lawyer resigned after she was asked to investigate the Biden administration's scheme to funnel EPA money into hidden non-governmental organizations. We brought you that story last week. Lee Zeldin, the new head of the EPA, said that after he was confirmed, he directed his staff to find hidden money that was shoveled out the door before Biden administration ended, and he found it. He asked the DOJ to look into it. Was this legal? Were these contracts legal? Was this extortion or something like that? And within 1 week, less than 7 days, one of the top prosecutors resigned, saying, this is nothing. I don't want to even impanel a grand jury. I'm not going to do it. I will resign. So it's no wonder then that the Trump administration would say, we need people who are willing to do their jobs. Well, Lionel is going to join us from the Lionel Nation YouTube channel. He's a prosecutor. Thank you so much for joining us, Lionel. So is this legal? Can Trump do this? Is it usury?
Well, it's not usury. By the way, technically, I was a prosecutor. I am not now, but I'm a licensed trial lawyer. And it's not usury in terms of something being usurious like a loan, but let me explain to you what this is. First and foremost, this is exactly what the president can do. Normally, it is understood that all U.S. attorneys, there's about 93 of them roughly in the United States. These are the U.S. attorneys, the United States attorney for the Southern District of New York, for the Eastern District of New York, from wherever. There's about 93 of them. It is absolutely understood. They normally tender their resignations, and the president decides whom to keep.
Pause. It goes back to Captain Matthew brought up the legislative and the judicial branch, and we talked about the executive branch. Donald Trump is the chief executive of the executive branch. He can do whatever he wants when it comes to that branch. So he is firing everybody. And we're going to get into it in a minute. Play on.
Number one, this is nothing. Number two, it's his show. This is the separation of powers. Now, since I'm not sure if you covered this, but Judge Dale Ho in New York dealt with this case involving Mayor Eric Adams.
Pause. Remember, he's a black man. Mayor Adams, they charged him with a bunch of stuff. And all it was is they were saying it was basic. He upgraded flights in a hotel. It wasn't millions. It was just probably a slap on the wrist that he should have got, but they ruined this guy's career. And then what they did to Donald Trump is they did all kind of charges, try to sully him and destroy him. And now Trump's like, okay, if they were allowed to get away with all these things, there's got to be corruption, right? And so this attorney's like, Donald Trump can do everything. It's not even far-fetched. He can do exactly what he's saying. And this is why if you listen to the mainstream media that is controlled by much of the liberal left, meaning the Caucasians that are for open borders, that are for gender, girls and men's all these different things, that crazy left, right? When you say go left, right? And what he's saying is that this is normal. He can do everything he's saying. That's basically what he's saying. So now, interest of time, we don't have any more time. Let's move on to get me the short video on Trump firing federal number 11. We're not going to get to everything. That's okay.
You're fired.
Calling the federal workforce cuts un-American and insulting, but President Trump continues to defend the Department of Government Efficiency. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
President Trump and Elon Musk presenting a united front in a newly aired.
One thing I like about Trump, right? Donald Trump, the man got shot. They almost tried to kill him another time. They tried to charge him with everything. They tried to sue him for $330 million. They tried to lock him up. Is he a convicted criminal? He's a convicted criminal, but they dropped the charges once he became president.
Yep.
All these things happen. He has more money. He's a billionaire on the private sector. He has nothing he doesn't take a salary. This guy is trying to stick it to this system. And guess what? He has the power of the House of Representatives, the Congress and the Senate. He has more Republicans in it. He's making stuff happen. And they got this guy, Elon Musk, by the way, he tells you, Musk is worth like $300 billion, almost $500 billion. He don't need money. He's working for free. And what we're about to unveil is what they're finding in the corruption of the federal government. Play on.
Fox News interview on slashing the federal government.
The thrashing of the bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people.
The president casting Musk as an enforcer of his executive orders, despite a White House court filing saying Musk is not running the Department of Government Efficiency, while dismissing concerns over conflicts of interest from Musk's businesses.
If there's a conflict, he won't be involved. I mean, I wouldn't want that, and he won't want it.
President Trump repeating that Musk's team is finding billions of dollars in fraud after earlier reading from pages of spending.
Now, pause real quick. Mind you, this is the first 30 days of his term, and they have found billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of fraud that has been corroborated by legal forces in this country. It's not just a bunch of propaganda that this is reality that they're finding, that billions and hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions, they estimate that they're going to find over $1 trillion within this first full year. And someone's got to pay for this. Someone's got to answer for this. Play on.
These numbers, this is all fraud.
Without showing evidence of what makes the programs fraudulent. A federal judge has found Musk's DOGE staffers can keep firing federal workers and accessing data systems, ruling 14 states who filed suit did not demonstrate imminent harm, while acknowledging concerns over, quote, the unchecked authority of an unelected individual.
Pause. So they're saying that Elon Musk is running DOGE. That's not true. He's a consultant and an advisor for DOGE. And furthermore, these states are using the judicial branch to do what? To try to stop that executive power, and they're not going to be able to. A judge passed it and says you can continue to fire federal employees at your discretion. Why? He's the executive of what? Powerful person on the planet Earth. And he said, without a shadow of a doubt, it's the president of the United States. That's what he said. And this is what we're seeing. Now, we know that God is behind the whole thing. He is a puppet. He is a puppet. He is a puppet for God. Just like Pharaoh was a puppet for God. Nebuchadnezzar was a puppet for God. The Caesars of Rome were puppets for God. Okay, read on. Play on.
As another judge paused the firings of 11 intelligence officers who were temporarily assigned jobs on DEI programs, while the leader of the FDA's food division resigned, saying the firing of 89 people effectively dismantled his group, tasked with
Isn't
keeping...
it amazing? The FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration, we have the most obese, unhealthy country on the planet Earth. Why do we need that department if we're the worst of the worst? This is why they gave the guy RFK Jr., the guy that talked like this with a rough voice. They were fighting this guy to get in there because he wants to stop unnecessary vaccines. He wants to stop these huge former cigarette companies that now took their money and invested in food companies to process foods. He's trying to change a lot of that, okay? And so Trump's like, okay, why do we need this? This is not productive. Just like on The Apprentice. This is not working. This is wrong. This is wrong. Fire this. And he could do all of that. Okay? We almost done. Play.
Country's food supply safe. And the Department of Agriculture is trying to rehire recently fired employees who were working on the bird flu outbreak, similar to efforts to reinstate some fired nuclear safety workers, all as President Trump defends his rapid-fire government remake. In Washington, Alice.
Right. And that's what Trump is doing. God, the Most High God, is using Donald Trump to shake this country up and ultimately bring in the Third World War. Go to number 12. Okay, we got about 10 more minutes. Donald Trump is getting, or I think he's already started, the IRS, which is an acronym for the Internal Revenue Service. Remember 2 weeks ago, Trump said that he was thinking about creating an ERS, an External Revenue Service, that would use taxes, or AKA tariffs, from other countries to use that to pay and do away with the income tax. That's what they did up until like 1931. There was no income tax in this country. And now Trump is getting ready to fire not 600, 6,000. 6,000. Is it an article or video? Play it.
President Donald Trump's radical government downsizing effort hit the Internal Revenue Service on Thursday. A source tells Reuters an IRS executive told employees that about 6,000 of them would lose their jobs in a move that would eliminate about 6% of the agency's workforce in the middle of the critical tax filing season. The layoffs are expected to total 6,700 and largely target workers at the agency hired as part of an expansion under Democratic President Joe Biden, who had sought to boost enforcement efforts on wealthy taxpayers. Trump's Republicans say the expansion would lead to more harassment of ordinary American taxpayers. The workers being cut are in their probationary period and have fewer protections than career employees. The dismissals target workers across all 50 states and include revenue agents, customer service workers, and IT workers, according to sources. The move to slash the government workforce is being led by tech billionaire Elon Musk, Trump's biggest campaign donor. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency team has also canceled contracts worth about $8.5 billion, involving foreign aid, diversity training, and other initiatives opposed by Trump.
Okay, do me a favor. Wikipedia DOGE, DOGE. We're going to do 13 and then 14, and we're going to call it. We're not going to get 13, 14, we're going to call it. Actually, DOGE is 15. You can pull 15 and make it easy for yourself. Now, whatever. Yeah, there you go. That's it right there.
Establishing and implementing the President's Department of Government Efficiency.
Remember, Richard Nixon in 1907 signed an executive order to do what? Create the EPA. Donald Trump created the DOGE this year. Mm-hmm. Read.
By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, Purpose. This executive order established the Department of Government Efficiency to implement the President's DOGE agenda by modernizing federal technology and software to maximize governmental efficiency and productivity. Section 2, definitions as used in this order.
So real quick, and y'all check this out on your own. The point is that as Israelites, we have to we cannot be ignorant in any matter, small or great. What's going on in this country is there's great things that are changing, great matters. And if the President Nixon 50-something years ago could create the EPA, so guess what? Donald Trump can create other agencies like he did in the first 30 days. We as Israelites, we more than ever got to get our affairs in order, take care of your health, make sure you have life insurance, make sure your affairs in order, the best that you can. Work together. We should be buying land, having assets, growing crops, helping one another to become self-sufficient. We have to. We're going to need each other in these last days. Now, I like this guy. This is valuetainment. The first 1 minute and like 1 second, they're going to talk about a little bit about DOGE and about a kickback of the recovered fraudulent funds that they have determined should go back to us, taxpayers.
You can pull up this clip while we're on it with DOGE. Go to the clip where Trump says he's weighing giving 20% of the DOGE savings to Americans, okay? So, folks, this is kind of weird because they're saying if we find the amount of fraud that we find, that you paid money into it, they want to give you 20% of it. I want it. Okay? They want to give you 20% of it. Is this the clip, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Watch this clip here, folks.
Sir, Elon Musk is proposing potentially giving money to Americans based on what DOGE is finding. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I love it. A 20% dividend, so to speak, for the money that we're saving by going after the waste and fraud and abuse and all of the other things that are happening. I think it's a great idea.
How much money do you think?
Could be a lot. I mean, if it's 20%, we'd give back a lot of money to the taxpayer. And also it'd give an incentive for the taxpayer to go out and report things to us where we can save money.
So that is what DOGE is trying to do. Now, there's one more. Actually, a lot of stuff I'm not going to be able to get to. No, that's 14. We already went to 14. I'll tell you what we're going to do. One last one. What's 14? Yes, 14, and then we'll call it.
Trump says he could give 20% of DOGE savings back to Americans. U.S. President's proposal comes amid skepticism of claimed savings of Elon Musk's cost-cutting drive. United States President Donald Trump has proposed using some of the savings from tech billionaire Elon Musk's cost-cutting drive to give Americans cash and pay down government debt. Speaking at an investment summit hosted by Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Wealth Fund in Miami Beach, Florida on Wednesday, Trump said he was considering using 20% of the savings for payouts to the public and 20% to pay down the federal government's $36 trillion debt.
Now, I don't know if you remember, those of you who watched the show, Trump talked about a sovereign wealth fund for America. Many countries have, for example, I think it's Qatar, or the United Arab Emirates. There's a country that when the men, I think Thomas brought it out, they're born and each gets like $50,000. They get a stipend to live.
Yeah, that was also
the diet.
Brought that out, yeah.
They get a certain amount. That's a sovereign wealth fund that they have for their citizens. Some countries, like I believe Canada, they have free health care. Mm-hmm. We know brothers in the Netherlands that they have much better health care. They have much better living arrangements. Some countries like Switzerland, they do a lot more for their citizens. Trump, as a businessman, says, okay, if I want to make America great again and I can catch these fraudulent transactions, for example, they found hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people receiving Social Security that were above, like, I think 120, 130 years. It was some crazy number.
Bring
it up, bring it up.
One of them was 350 years old, still receiving Social Security.
So if you really think about that, and that's thousands of dollars they receive most likely a month. If that's billions upon billions and billions of dollars that the U.S. Treasury is just shipping out. And that's money that has been paid over decades and decades and decades of the U.S. taxpayer dollar. So why are we saying all this? Because you got to know that Donald Trump, this is the biggest revolution in American history probably since 1770, according to Esau. Things are changing, okay? They're trying to bring back everything here. Don't be surprised if they build that Iron Dome to protect the United States of America. Don't be surprised if you start seeing more jobs here. Don't be surprised when the border gets tighter. All of that is going to make you Negroes drop your guard. And then when he starts signing executive orders, we're going to see who the real Israelites are. Because we don't change our culture. Our culture is we don't eat swine. Our culture is we don't commit adultery. Our culture is we do not steal. Guess what? In that day, we're going to be tried. And we have to prepare our minds for that. We're living in a time where a man can create an executive order like the agency called DOGE to look into fraudulent government transactions. So could he not create another agency and enforce? Yes, he can, and yes, he will. So this is just for you to open your eyes, y'all. We live in the last days, but we have one thing that they don't have is we have the Most High God, and the Most High God will help us. Last scripture, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1 through 5, and then we're going to close out the law back attack. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 1. We're just showing you what's going on in the world. What we need to do as Israelites is do this. And guess what? Everybody's a work in progress. Everybody going to fall. Everybody, you got to get the hell back up. You got to get back up. You're going to have lustful thoughts. You're going to have foolish thoughts. Read.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 1.
Come on.
My son, forget not my law.
Right, because that's why we went into slavery, because we forgot God's laws. We purposely ignored God's laws. Read on.
But let thine heart keep my commandments.
Right. How do we know? We have to learn them first. How can you keep something if you never learned it? Read on.
For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee.
Right. Read on.
Let not mercy and truth forsake thee.
Right.
Bind them about thy neck.
That shows you that we got to be just judges. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is why we need Jesus the Christ, because if it was for us, we all be dead. And I'm going to tell you right now, we all have, every one of us has a spirit on us. Every one of us battles with demons, real demons in our mind. Why? Because we was raised in a Christian church where wicked evil, we were raised by dysfunctional parents, dysfunctional friends we hung out. We used to have competitions. We used to have competitions of sin. If you think about black men raised in America, we had competitions of sin. Who could get the most women? That's a competition of evil. And we were brought up in that corrupt environment. And now we got to come out of it. Read on.
Write them upon the table of thine heart.
Meaning we got to learn them and remember them. Come on.
So shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of God and man.
And that's the part. If you want to have good understanding in the sight of God and men, and that ain't just talking about Israelite men, these are the nations that are going to see us. And when that time comes, the Lord could put it on their heart to have mercy on us. Read on.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
So when things get hard and it's saying, denounce yourself as an Israelite, you better trust in the Most High, because just like he delivered our forefathers, the righteous, going back to the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, going back to hell, going back to the time of Noah, okay? We must believe that God will provide a way for us to escape. Read on.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
Right. Don't lean unto your own understanding. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. All right, with that, we're right on time. We're going to go to the Lard back attack with myself, Captain Shem, and we're going to close it out within our 2-hour time. Shalom. Stand by.
Yeah, you can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And do it to the end, going all in. Going all in. I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And do it to the end, going all in. Going all in. Yeah. You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And do it to the end, going all in. Going all in.
Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Most High Grace Blessed Captain Shem back attack. Quick health segment of the show. Get me there's a scripture in Titus that says, to the pure, all things are pure. It just came to me. To the pure, all things are pure. All right. This is important because when we as Israelites, we see something that is not natural, it's impure. To the pure, all things are pure. A animal in a normal realm should look a certain way, natural. A human being, an Israelite, the greatest people on the earth, we should look natural. It should be pure the way you look. When you look at something, it's not right. Read. Yep. Unto the pure, all things are pure. Read on.
Is nothing pure.
Right. So and it does go in spiritually go into your health as well. So I'm gonna show you, we'll play a video. It's a little bit funny, but I'm gonna show you that when you look at it, listen to the lady's reaction because not saying she's pure, but when we look at this, we're like, yo, this is not right. This is egregious. Play this. This is a funny thing about a squirrel.
Look at this fat ass giant.
Pause. Look at the other squirrel. He's ripped. He's running up and down the chair. He's doing all kind of that is a pure squirrel. That's a natural squirrel. That to me, that squirrel is the way he's supposed to be. Then you have the Christianized, domesticated, fatback, morbidly obese, horrible, unnatural-looking squirrel. And even the lady, she's going to make a comment. Replay it again from the beginning.
Look at this fat ass, giant, morbidly obese squirrel.
If you notice that most squirrels, if you look at them, they make about 1,000 movements a second. You see that fat one is moving like, look how, play it again. He's not even moving a lot. Watch him.
Look at this
not even
fat
moving.
ass, giant, morbidly obese
so fast,
squirrel.
The big fat one. Anyways, so that just shows you that even in nature, things are supposed to be natural. It's not natural. That squirrel is horrible. Play the next video I forwarded. This is I've played this video before, probably 2 or 3 times. This is a guy that I was introduced to about 8 or 9 years ago. Deacon Asaph shared this with us at the table in New York, and it helped to open up my mind, the fact that we, in line with all the scriptures I had learned for almost 18 years, well, 10 years at the time, and we're not doing it. You do not need to eat a lot often. You don't need to do it. And what this is going into is what your body, how does it help you when you go and eat 1 meal a day? Because the most you should, in my opinion, the most you should ever eat is 2 times a day. You really should never do more than that. Play.
From your 2 meals a day to 1 meal a day. That's called OMAD. Now, why is this so important? Well, you get 23 hours of fasting, and that's when the magic happens. When you transition from this 18 hours of fasting or 16 hours of fasting or 20 hours of fasting to 23 hours of fasting. That's huge. Your liver has a chance to really regenerate. Your entire digestive system has a chance to reset. The insulin receptors that have been so downgraded start becoming extremely sensitive.
Pause. That is the key, and I have to keep saying it over and over again. You fat brothers and you sisters, the reason why you don't lose weight and every diet fails you is because you have not addressed the problem with your insulin resistant. Insulin is the hormone that is going to help you lose weight. If you want to lose weight, the first thing you got to do is address your insulin. How do you do that? Stop having so many insulin spikes by eating so many times throughout the day. If you just cut the carbohydrates, you people at home, and eat less frequently, you can fix your insulin. As a result of that, you will be able to lose the fat. And that's just the first part about it. And what you do is you eat low carbohydrate, whole food keto, meaning, so you had a steak or some ground beef with a big giant salad with avocados and a homemade salad dressing. Then if you have to have fruit, lard asses, have some berries. Okay, you can have some eggs. You can have whole food, low carbohydrate, whole food. Once you fix your insulin and the weight drops, you can begin to work out and you go from 2 meals to 1 meal a day. At that point, once you get all the weight, fat off you and you fix your insulin, then you could go back to a normal diet that includes healthy carbs like a potato, a sweet potato, like some beans and some rice, okay? Like, for example, what else? Some sort of healthy carbohydrate. Then you could go back to that. The way you fix insulin is cut all the sugars out for a while. Might be 6-8 months. A lot of you brothers that are 100 pounds of weight, if you do it, you lose 100 pounds in 6-7 months, 8 months. Y'all got to do it. You got to stick to it. I'm going to keep saying the same thing. You have to eat less frequently. You have to cut the carbs. Not the rest of your life. You got to do it for about, if you have to lose 50 pounds, maybe 3-4 months. You'll lose 100, 125 pounds, maybe up to 10 months. And you can lose all of the fat. Okay? All the fat. I think that was it. And we are on time. One last scripture. Sirach 38, verse 4. One last scripture.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 4.
Remember. If insulin is fixed by making it sensitive, by going longer before your next insulin spike, which is a hormone, and you cut out the carbohydrates, even the natural carbs, but everything else that you eat is come from the ground. Like the animals you eat are animals that have the lawful, like a cow, sheep, goat, right? If you're eating fish, it's the fins and scales, right? And if you're eating vegetables, they came from the ground. It's very, very, and here's the thing. Actually, Captain Matthew and I spoke about this. He mentioned it, matter of fact, is that some brothers, to really fix your diet, you got to go days without food. It's this crazy Edomite named Cole. He's a dude out of Canada. He's a thing called snake juice. And basically what he's doing is you're water fasting, but you're using certain minerals and salt. Because what's happening is as long as you're hydrated and getting certain minerals, and I think you could take some liquid vitamins that don't have any. If you're getting vitamins, minerals, and the electrolytes, a.k.a. through salt, you're going to be using your maintenance calories are going to be eaten up by what? Your body fat. This is why people that eat, this guy does, sometimes people eat 2 meals throughout the week. Eat a meal on Tuesday, 3 days of snake juice or water fast with salt, then another meal. And guys, they're losing 20 pounds, 25, 30 pounds, sometimes 60 pounds in 2 months. Literally. Because it is extreme, but you can do it. That is the best way to fix your insulin, is when you're going longer, okay? But for now, mostly all of you can start with 1 meal a day. Cut out the carbs and sugars, healthy things that grow from the ground. Get the animal that, obviously we're Israelites, that was lawful, that ate from the ground. If you do that, vegetable, meat, eggs, okay? If you have anything, maybe a little bit of berries. If you do that, you will lose a whole lot of fat and you will get extremely healthy and fix your insulin, lard asses. Okay? So, read it and we're done. Sorry, Thomas.
The book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 4.
Come on.
The Lord have created medicines out of the earth.
Right, and that's why many times the tribe of Benjamin is noteworthy for this. They'll take concoctions like they'll do turmeric, garlic, lemon with the rind, all these roots and herbs, and they concoct them up. It tastes disgusting. So a lot of you got to put a bunch of honey. You shouldn't have any honey on it. And you get all that, and guess why? Because it's all medicine from the ground. All right, read on.
The Lord have created medicines out of the earth.
Out of the earth, read on.
And he that is wise will not abhor them.
If you are wise, you will not hate them. Even though you like to eat a Snickers bar. We all like Snickers bars. Even you like to eat that nice bread with all the sugary Nutella and all that crap that tastes great and super sweet, and all the fries and all that, which tastes good and hits your palate. Guess what? You got to do away with all of that. You got to go back to the things that come out of the ground. If you do that and fix insulin, we're all going to get to the green together. So with that, I'm Captain Shem, right on time. With that, we say shalom.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's the king.
To give at your local school, drop an envelope in the alms box. To give online via PayPal at IUIC.neworleans@israelunite.org. Also, make sure you give to the Booster Club at IUIC.fundraising@israelunite.org. All right, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all donate to the Booster Club. All right? Donate to the Booster Club. All right?
I just want to give a shout out to one of our tech guys, Nehemiah, back there. He actually played the wrong video, the wrong, and so he's gonna have to live this one down.
Coon.
He's actually single, brother. Is he a coon?
He's a coon.
Yeah, he didn't even. He lives in a cheap southern state. Could have changed his. He doesn't care. Weak. Now he's a strong brother. He just strong coon.
Strong.
Anyways, all praise to the Most High. Look, we appreciate all of y'all. Just tell you behind the scenes, out of myself, I'm tired as hell every show. Y'all got to forgive me, but it's an honor to be able to do a show for y'all, and we pray that you get something out of it. If you have any ideas, hit us up. Shout out to all the people that do send content. I know the sisters and brothers, and I don't get to post everything, but I do appreciate the things that you do send. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, everybody, to the Booster Club. Okay, the Booster Club, we appreciate all of y'all, because I'm going to tell you something. Without y'all, okay, 12 tribes worldwide, it'd happen, but it wouldn't happen at the level that y'all, brothers and sisters at home. Let me just say this. Somebody needs to hear what I'm about to say. Some of you worked hard your whole life, right? 35, 40 years, and you have amassed a certain amount of wealth, right? You have your house paid for, and the Lord has blessed you abundantly. I just pray that some of you, and I don't know who this is meant for. I don't even know why I'm saying it, because I wasn't thinking about saying this. Some of you have a lot of resources, and I would suggest that you ask the Lord to put it in your spirit what you can do to help this ministry. You see what we're doing. We need your help, and you know what you and the Lord know. Some of you are in a very good position, and you're sitting back on the sidelines. You're doing it a little bit here and there, but you know. And I just pray that the Lord move y'all's spirit. I'll never say a dollar amount. We need land. We need resources. And some of you, the Lord bless. And I pray that the Most High move your spirits to continue to support. Somebody needed to hear that. So all praise to the Most High. We out. We good, brothers? With that, brothers, right on time, 2 hours. I'm Captain Shem.
Captain Matt.
Officer Thomas.
Hey, with that, y'all, we say shalom.
There's a special place that I like to go with nobody's home to increase my understanding, my daily bread.